Hello, viewers. Today is August 20th, 2024. I'm here to share my thoughts on the U.S. presidential elections 2024, and more specifically, I would like to discuss about the campaign events and the news in the last 24 to 36 hours. So let's go right into the Republican side. Yesterday, Monday, um, Donald Trump had an event in Pennsylvania. And in this event, he was able to just stick to the issues for the most part. And he was talking about crime, immigration, illegal immigration, inflation, economy, and all those things. And then occasionally he did pivot to start attacking Kamala Harris, but then he went back to the script, went back to the teleprompter. So that was a good sign for the Republicans in the sense that he is going back to the issues. The reason that he has done that at that particular event, or probably is going to continue that in the next few days as well, I believe, is because a lot of the Republican operatives and the elected representatives, or the Republican elected representatives, have been advising him to stick to the issues. You will win if you stick to the issues, so on and so forth. And more specifically, Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina, came out on Meet the Press on Sunday, where he had said that if Trump talks about the issues, he will win. If he tries to be a showman, he would lose. And that was advice given by Lindsey Graham, who is one of the hardcore supporters of Trump. So I think Trump must have noticed that, must have realized that he should go back to the issues. And that is a good sign for the Republican campaign. And let's see whether he continues continues to do the campaign in this way, or he goes back to his old mode of attacking Kamala Harris. And then he had another event today in Howell, Michigan. This is kind of noteworthy in the sense that Howell, Michigan is linked notoriously with the white supremacist movement. In fact, some of the KKK members used to reside there, and it has got some KKK historical links. And moreover, a month or so ago, there were some group of demonstrators who were demonstrating in downtown Howell, and they were shouting "Hail Hitler," and some were carrying signs saying "White Lives Matter" as well. And then they also had some of the other demonstrators who were shouting "Long live Hitler" and "Long live Trump" and so on. So this is not a good sign in terms of running a national campaign. I don't know whether this is going to get into the mainstream campaign of the Donald Trump campaign events moving forward, but let's see how this pans out in the next few days. So now switching to the Democratic side, the Democrats had a very good first day of the Democratic National Convention, and there were a lot of very good speeches, and the crowd is energized and revitalized. The Democratic Party looks a different Democratic Party than what it was 6 weeks ago. So, particularly, they had two very good speeches. One is from Hillary Clinton, another one from President Biden. Hillary Clinton yet again proved that she is such a formidable politician, and she should have been president in 2016. And unfortunately, that was not to be. And I think she only has herself to blame for that, but that's a different discussion on a different date. And then coming to the President Biden speech, he did speak very well. He spoke very forcefully as well. He had a point to prove after the disastrous debate, and he did very well in terms of delivering his speech. And there are a couple of things that really that caught my attention. One is when he said that I love my job, but I love my country more. That was a good line. And then he was also going about saying that that he thought he would win this election, but it was the Congress that he was worried about, and he could have still won the presidency, is what he said. But still, he gave a good speech, and he gave a ringing endorsement of Kamala Harris, and so that's a good sign. from the Democrats' perspective. And then I want to pivot to a third party candidacy of RFK Jr. Um, we just learned from media reports that RFK Jr.'s running mate, Nicole Shanahan, has has told the reporters that they are planning on dropping out and endorsing the Trump candidacy. And that is kind of surprising, given the fact that RFK Jr. has been talking about going all the way. He wanted to be on the ballot in all the 50 states. And he was saying that he was different from both these parties, and he's the only change candidate in this whole electoral process. So that's really surprising. And but we have to take it seriously in the sense that it came from the running mate. Let's look at exactly what this means. From my perspective, I don't think it makes a big difference. Let me tell you why. First of all, RFK Jr. is not on the ballot on all the 7 battleground states. So if you look at Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, he is on the ballot only in Michigan. He is fighting a legal case in Pennsylvania, and then he is trying to get into Wisconsin. And then if you come to North Carolina and Georgia, he is on the ballot in North Carolina, but he is not on the ballot in Georgia. He is fighting a case there in Georgia. Then you go to Arizona and Nevada. He's not on the ballot on both those states, and he's trying to get into Arizona. There were some signature issues, I believe. There is some controversy on those signatures. I think he had sent around 110,000 signatures or something like that, and there are some controversy around that. And then Nevada also is trying to get in. So if you really look at it, currently he is only in Michigan and North Carolina. So even if he stays on the race and stays only on those 2 states, it's not going to make a big difference. And then what if he drops out? If he drops out and he says he's going to endorse Trump, I don't think it's going to make a big difference either, because I don't think every one of his supporters is going to just jump and then say that, okay, now we are going to be supporting Trump. I don't think that will happen. Some of them will stay home. Some of them will support Trump, but some of them might even vote for Kamala Harris. So I don't think it's a big thing either way, whether he stays on the race or he drops out. The only time it will make a big difference is if he stays on the race and then he gets onto the ballot on all those 7 battleground states and he polls well. So if you really look at some of the similarities, even Ross Perot in 1992, during the Democratic National Convention or just after the Democratic National Convention in 1992, he dropped out, and he said that the EC's revitalized and re-energized Democratic Party, and that was the reason he said to drop out. But remember, Ross Perot was polling high teens and low 20s throughout the campaign. So he had a much better base of supporters. But whereas RFK Jr., from my perspective, has never crossed the double digit, and he didn't even cross double digit in any of the states either. So Ross Perot got back into the race after a few weeks. That's a different story. But I think he's not Ross Perot, so I don't think he can get any leverage of trying to say that he can endorse somebody and make a play out of that. And then I also heard that there are some rumors that he's trying to open a channel of communication with the Democrats as well. So that proves to me that this guy is not very serious, and this guy is not going to really make a big difference, with only one caveat, that if he can get into all the 7 battleground states and he sticks on and does not drop out, then he can potentially make some inroads in those battleground states, and that could affect either one of these 2 parties. But till such time, I don't think both Democrats and Republicans should worry about him. In fact, they should just basically isolate him. And if he doesn't get into all these battleground states, he's going to end up with around 2-3% or 4% of the national vote, and he's not going to make a big difference on the battleground states. Unless otherwise, again, if we get into all those 7 battleground states, which I think is very difficult. And one more thing that's going to really make him decide is the money. He doesn't apparently have any money, and I don't think he can run a 50-state campaign without any money these days. So that is another reason I think it is preferable that both these parties just ignore him and then run their campaign. So that way, he doesn't try to get something from either one of these parties. And that will be my advice if they ask me. But nevertheless, that's my view. And that's it for me today. I'll come back to you with another program tomorrow. Take care.